Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so you've given us some really interesting sources today. They kind of flip what we thought we knew about whiskey, especially pointing towards, well, Denmark.
That's right. We're diving into this Danish whiskey boom. We'll look at it from two angles. The big retailer, Whisky.dk, which shows the market size, and then this really innovative, smaller distillery, Fary Lochan.
And their unique flavor profile. We should probably get straight to the most surprising thing, shouldn't we? This central fact. Danish whiskey. It uses an ingredient literally no one else does.
It really makes you stop and think. We're talking about smoking malt, but not with peat.
No, with stinging nettles. Fresh ones. If you know Islay smoke, well, prepare yourself for something completely different.
Absolutely. But, before we get lost in the taste of green herbaceous smoke, maybe we should set the scene. Understand the market that lets something this niche actually flourish.
Good point. Let's start with the retail side then. Whisky.dk. The sources paint a picture of a real powerhouse, not just some little shop.
Definitely not little. It's Denmark's biggest online and physical whiskey store. Started back in 2012 by Ulrik Bertelsen and Henrik Olsen.
And the scale is important, right? Their main place near Kolding in Jutland. It has this huge 500 square meter showroom.
Exactly. And why does that matter for a small distiller? Well, it shows there's a real concentration of interest, a hub of expertise that's educating Danish drinkers.
Right, they're building the audience. They stock everything Scotch, Japanese, American, the usual suspects, but also loads of other spirits, rum, gin, cognac.
The whole range. They position themselves as the authority. So they're basically craning the palates for what's coming next, including these unique Danish whiskeys.
And it's more than just selling bottles, isn't it? They do tastings, master classes.
Yeah, for everyone. Beginners, real enthusiasts. It's smart. They create this environment where something unusual, like, say, Nettle-Smoked whiskey, can actually be understood, maybe even appreciated.
And bought, which leads us nicely to Fary Lochan. That name, though.
Yeah.
It sounds so Scottish.
It does, doesn't it? And that's kind of the point, I think. Lochan means small lake in Gaelic. Gives it that traditional vibe.
But it's not Scottish at all.
Nope. It's actually a mix of the village name, Farre, and the local forest lake, also called Lochan, right there in Midtjylland, in Jutland.
Ah, okay. So Scottish feel, but very much Danish roots. Founded in 2009, wasn't it? By Jens Erik Jørgensen. A passion project, it sounds like.
Very much so. And sadly, he passed away in 2016, but the family kept it going. His wife, son, 2 stepchildren, they ensured the vision continued. It became a real family affair.
That's quite a story. And now they're considered a pretty big player, domestically at least.
Yeah, which is interesting for a family-run craft place. They handle everything themselves, distilling, bottling, even international marketing now. Riding that wave we talked about, partly thanks to places like Whisky.dk creating demand.
Okay, let's get to the really unique part. The nettles. This is their signature, right? Smoking the barley malt over fresh, stinging nettles.
Harvested right there in the Farre forest. And they are apparently the only distillery in the world doing this.
It sounds, well, radical. But is it just a gimmick? Something to stand out from Scotch?
That's the natural question, isn't it? Where did this idea even come from? Was it just about being different?
Yeah.
Well, according to the sources, it's more rooted than that. The founder, Jens Erik, remembered fun smoked cheese ryejost from his childhood. And that was traditionally smoked over nettles, too.
Ah, okay. So it's borrowing from local Danish food tradition. That makes it feel less like a stunt and more like, well, terroir almost.
Exactly, a local adaptation.
Yeah.
And the flavor. What does nettle smoke actually taste like?
Not like burnt grass, apparently. The descriptions say mild, green, and herbaceous. Very different from peat's medicinal or coastal notes.
Right. The house style is described as urtet and credret, herbaceous and spiced.
And I saw those notes about it reminding people of natural medicine, specifically echinacea, purple coneflower. That's unexpected for whiskey.
It really is. It puts the flavor profile way outside the usual malt spectrum, doesn't it? A direct link, maybe, between the spirit and the local plant life.
Beyond the smoke, though, they seem focused on craft. Small batches, Danish malt, not chill filtering, natural color.
Absolutely. And they love experimenting with casks. That seems key to their philosophy.
Like the Smoke and Cherry series, combining that unique smoke with more traditional cask types.
Yeah, take their latest, Batch 05. It's 6 years, 8 months old. They used first fill bourbon casks, but also second fill Oloroso and PX sherry casks.
Quite a combination. And pretty limited release, too, only 227 bottles at 50.3% ABV.
Right. And the profile is described as sort of oily, sweet. You get the sherry influence, but always with that distinct green smoke underneath. Other batches, like batch '03, were apparently lighter on the smoke, more salty, dried fruit, marzipan notes.
But they're smart enough not to just do the smoke, right? They have unsmoked stuff, too.
Correct. The Sauson series, that's explicitly a non-smoked, designed to be, more approachable, perhaps, for newcomers and experts alike.
Makes sense. What are those like?
Typically around 5 years old, 47–48% ABV. Usually a mix of bourbon and sherry casks. Tasting notes mention things like green apples, vanilla, carom, pineapple, even a bit of sea salt. It shows the quality of their basic spirit.
And they're not afraid of age either, showing they're in it for the long haul. I saw mentions of 12-year-old releases.
Yeah, like the Tulp PX Batch '02. That one was almost cask strength, 59.1% ABV. Matured in a first fill bourbon quarter cask first, then finished in a second fill PX sherry cask. Lots going on there.
Quarter cask, too. Intense maturation. And other finishes. Rum casks.
They seem willing to try almost anything. There's a rum edition, batch 3, 5 years old, 48.5%. Notes of licorice, grass, mineral salt mentioned there. And even local collaborations, like one for the Vengeville Football Club using an ex-rum barrel.
That's a dizzying amount of experimentation for a distillery only founded in 2009. Is there a risk they spread themselves too thin? Lose focus?
It's always a risk with craft producers, isn't it? But I think they manage it. The consistency comes from the Danish malt, the non-chill filtering, the small batches. The identity comes from the Nettle-Smoked. And the cask experiments. That keeps the enthusiasts interested. The very people nurtured by places like Whisky.dk.
And it seems to be working, looking at the awards and recognition they're getting, not just in Denmark.
No, internationally too. Gold at the 50 Best in New York, for example. But the really big one, partnering with the Scotch Malt Whisky Society.
Ah, the SMWS, that's huge.
It is. They were the first distillery on the European mainland to get that nod. That's a massive vote of confidence from the heartland of single malt.
Saying, okay, this Danish stuff, it's serious.
Exactly. And let's not forget, they're not just whiskey. They're a proper distillery. They make gin, too.
Right, using Danish botanicals.
Yeah, described as having a fresh, clean style. Plus, the traditional Danish spirits, snaps, liqueurs. They won awards for a blackcurrant liqueur, and I think a strawberry one was named Local Product of the Year back in 2016.
So they're really woven into the local fabric, aren't they? Offering tours, tastings, emphasizing the craft, the local roots.
It all ties together. So when you put it all together, what does Fary Lochan represent for you, the listener?
It's this fascinating mix, isn't it? Respect for traditions, the single malt focus, the Scottish-sounding name, but combined with truly radical Danish innovation. That Nettle-Smoked.
Yeah, they challenge things. Small batches, bold experiments, hyper-local ingredients. It shows that Danish whiskey isn't just about location, it's becoming about a specific flavor profile, green, herbaceous smoke. And it highlights how a supportive retail scene can really help unique producers find their footing.
And that unique flavor, the comparison to echinacea or natural medicine, it leaves us with a final thought, perhaps. What does it mean when a spirit uses something like stinging nettles a plant with its own history in foraging and traditional remedies? Is it just about a unique taste? Or does using something so intensely local, so rooted in the specific flora of Farre, create a connection to the Danish terroir that maybe other spirits, using more globalized ingredients like peat, can't quite achieve? Maybe it's a whiskey that tastes not just of grain and cask, but truly of the land, maybe even of its history.